Hey, welcome back and happy Friday. We made it. Everybody, grab your little sarsaparilla. Let's get the show rolling. So I do apologize for my. I'm gonna take a pull off this. I do apologize for my my kind of slow talking here. I'm a little under the weather, so this is going to be a right to the point kind of a show, and maybe not the longest one. But happy Friday to everybody. I'm glad that you guys are all here joining me again, and we got just a kind of a sidebar thing, a little static that's been happening right now. That you hear the rumblings coming more and more and more from the Never Trumpers. You know, these were the counterpart movement to the Trumpettes. Remember all that from 2016? You know, the Never Trumpers, and you know, these are the these are people like, you know, obviously. Former Vice President Mike Pence, you know, he'd be a Never Trumper. You know, you got the former President George W. Bush and people like Dick Cheney. You know, they would consider themselves Never Trumpers. You know, people like Mitt Romney and you know, mostly for you people that don't know this, but mostly Never Trumpers are your more are your more globalist type people, you know, warmongers, you know, and obviously the Democrats, any one of them are going to be Never Trumpers. However, these are Republicans, so that's why I think this is a little bit more despicable, you know, than anything. And you know, now that we're coming down to, you know, basically a week and a handful of days before the election, the Never Trumpers are getting louder and louder, and it's just something that we're all going to have to put up with. And you know, but at the end of the day, do you really give a fuck what Mitt Romney thinks? At the end of the day, do you really give a fuck what Meghan McCain thinks, or whatever the hell her name is? But you know, Meghan McCain. You know, do you really care about what any of those people really have anything to say? You know, you know, Steve Baer. You know, he's another guy that's been out recently talking a lot about, just never trumping. You know, never trumping. And you know, the thing is that the Never Trumpers are, you know, they're clear on what their goal is. You know, we all know that. And you know, there's also something you have to be very cognizant of with these type of people. You know, that a determined group will do whatever it takes to keep Trump out of office, including planning to support Kamala Harris, which is just fucking nuts to me. But, you know, to me, it's funny. You know, the choice of Donald Trump versus Kamala Harris is for me, it's been proven to be very remarkably easy. I guess the best way to put that. But for the Never Trumpers, who really mean never, you know, people that I just talked about, you know, they're determined to make sure that Trump never sees the inside of the White House again, and it's just amazing to me. But we'll get to that here in a minute. Grab a beer. We're gonna get to it right now. All right, hang tight.
This is America First Radio. Patriots, get your ears on because we're blowing the speakers out.
Lefty G. It is time for the Lefty G Show. The only show to get you right. Get ready to get right with Lefty. Your voice taking you down Freedom Road. Now, here's your host, Lefty G.
Let's hit the fucking road!
All right, again, happy Friday, and welcome to the show, and happy weekend, everyone. I hope you guys go out there and do some fun and sipping on some of this and getting ready to kick Camel Toe Harris and Joe Biden, the Democrats, out of the White House. But yeah, so all the rhetoric right now that's coming up is all the Never Trumpers. You know, I was even out last night and overheard people kind of grumbling about the election, you know, and the Never Trumping attitude. But besides some of those people that I mentioned, you know, like George Bush or George W. Bush, and you know, the likes of Mitt Romney and all these other, you know, fuckheads who are just more like turncoats. the rhetoric is starting up again. It's getting pretty loud because, of course, I think the doomsday bell is chiming for the Democrats, and they know it, And recently, you've been hearing a lot about all of the conservative pundits, like this guy Bill Kristol and other people like that. They've said that he's meaning Donald Trump, that he's worse than any left winger, and they've literally come out and renounced their whole career of and conservative position, just because the message of them is now Donald Trump is the same in many ways. So there's a hatred, and why you question is they can't understand it. That's how anti-Donald Trump that they are, and I think part of the reason he's transformed this, why they hate Donald Trump, is part of the reason for that is Donald Trump has literally transformed the stereotype of the Republican Party. And back in the day, the Republicans, for the most part, were well-to-do, who were only interested in the deregulation of the capital gains tax and privatizing Social Security into a broad-based type of a deal. And what Donald Trump has come in is he's actually nationalized the Republican Party. He's actually he's gelled it together. You don't have these isolated pockets of interest like you used to have, that the conservatives used to be. And now this entire movement is a worker-based, national, patriotic, middle class, that substitutes class solidarity for race. So, what the Never Trumpers, political and pundits feel, what they don't understand is when they smear him as a racist, and they make these comments, they call him a xenophobe, he's going to get a larger percentage of the aggregate vote of the blacks and the Hispanic votes than any John McCain or Mitt Romney or the Bushes. And he's going to do that because he's going to say to the black truck driver, the Mexican-American carpenter, the white coal miner, that you all have more in common with each other than you do with, the left. And so, and the left likes to have that division. The left likes to pull people apart. They want to make sure that people are fighting amongst each other. They need that chaos, as I've always said, to justify their existence. And Trump is bringing people together. And that's why I think the left is bringing in truckloads of illegals to replace a voter bloc that is disappearing, meaning the Hispanic and the African-American votes. And he's also kind of said to them, too, he's opened up the curtain a little bit and gave them a peek behind the curtain and said, you also have more in common with each other than you do the MSNBC or some professor or some Al Sharpton spokesman. And that's very scary to all of these people to make a national middle-class party. And it gets a lot of Republicans, i.e. these turncoats, very angry because, they want you to know he doesn't want to cut Social Security. He would prefer an increase in taxes rather than cut Social Security for people, or he thinks he's going to cut the abuse out of people. And Donald Trump, if he gets a hold of the Republican Party, like he already has, and even growing more, it could completely extinguish the Democrats. Is what I'm trying to get at. And I think. And I remember back in 2016 when the Never Trumpers started to kind of manifest and really started coming out. They said, and I can almost quote some of this stuff chapter and verse in 2016. He said that he's gonna be a lunatic. He's this idea of building a wall is gonna be expensive, and he's gonna drive everybody out, and they had all these terrible things to say about him. And they said stuff like, we're going to have a shortage of workers if you don't let these immigrants in here and don't build the wall. And that was the early clamorings of the Never Trumpers. And so even at that time, as I remember in 2016, the Chamber of Commerce came out against him and he will lose the Hispanic vote. That's what the Chamber of Commerce came out and said. And they said, you're going to lose the Hispanic vote for an entire generation. And Donald Trump said that that's crazy. These people, unlike you, are on ground zero when gang members come in and cartel members come in and crime comes in and they want me to do this. He said that that they continued their he's a lunatic rhetoric. And what happened is not only did he not lose any member of any one of those groups, the numbers went up. And I think that's when people realized that Donald Trump was a real candidate. And so I think that he actually gained, as we've seen, sizable constituents in non-white communities, and I think that's what's freaking out the racist Democrats. Just because they had the same concerns that he did, and the white working class, but you when you start talking like that kind of makes irrelevant or silly a lot of these Washington Beltway experts and pundits. They don't themselves know really what they're talking about. So it's getting noisy again. It's getting very noisy. And I just think right now it's the final death moans of the Democrat Party, and that's what they're doing. My curiosity is, after the election, when Donald Trump wins, and I'm 100% certain. I'll say this too. I think Donald Trump has to. He's not only campaigning against Kamala Harris, but it's not so much he has to defeat Kamala Harris as much as he has to defeat voter fraud and the criminal activities that I'm sure are going to continue. So I think that's the thing that I wanted to say here tonight. Kind of feeling a little under the weather, so it's kind of a short show tonight. Kind of threw out some, bar belly topics, and I hope, because everything else that's going on in the news is all the same fucking white noise that we've been getting inundated with. So, but I did want to point out that I noticed not a lot of people or anybody's really talking about the Never Trumpers. But again, who gives a shit about Mitt Romney, right? Who gives a fuck about him? George W. Bush, he's over there painting pictures of dogs, and who gives a shit about him anymore? But it's a little more despicable because you know what you're getting with the Democrats. You know what you're getting with them. You're getting a crop of lunatics that think they can defend borders with tennis rackets and dildos. But when you have a turncoat, when you have your own people, I forget who said it one time, but they said a traitor is 1,000 times worse than an enemy. And it's very true. And that's the way I look at these Never Trumpers. They're Republicans or people with conservative values. And they, they're just traitors. So yeah, we're coming down to a very exciting time, and November 5th can't get here soon enough. And so, with that said, happy Friday, everybody. Everybody have a great weekend, and I'll be back on Monday. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to continue getting these the show notifications. But hey, guys, have a great night. Happy Friday. Peace through strength. Talk to you later. Bye.